Hi guys, welcome back to an episode of Train Simulator Classic, aka Railworks. Buddy, has it been a long time? Hmm? I haven't played Railworks in a hot minute, much less done a video on Railworks in a hot minute, and we got a bombshell of a release recently that warranted my hopping back on. Fair warning, I will not be able to look at the entirety of the pack, each and every single item. The pack is massive. We will go through what all is included in the pack, and we will go through part of the reason why I can't look at everything. But the simple fact of the matter is Railworks is just so unstable at this point in history that I can't place everything down and expect the game to continue to run, because it doesn't. It just gives me an out-of-memory error if I try to place too many things. So, yeah. Without further ado, today we're going to be taking a look at the latest and greatest drop from 4th's Gaming. Somerset and Dorset Joint Railways 7Fs. A staple of Railworks for those of us that have been around a minute. Back when Railworks was very much a very new game, the 7F was one of only a few steam locomotives available for the game. It was one of the one of 5 steam locomotives that I remember that came with my copy that I bought at Walmart. At 5 because mine came with the bonus content. I got the IHH Challenger that came with the little Freelander, well, semi-finished 280. And then you also had the BR52 for Germany. You had the Black 5 and the 7F for England. So this is a locomotive that many of us will recognize. This little locomotive's been around for a long time. A lot of us cut our teeth on playing with steam locomotives in a train simulator with this thing. And 4th's Games has finally let us retire that antiquity over there. For giggles and squiggles, I do have one of the old ones down, so we can kind of see side by side, old versus new. But 4th's Games has put in a ton of work over the last couple of years to bring us this pack. They have definitely gone above and beyond, and we're going to check it out. We're going to see what all is included, what all we get to enjoy. So, straight off, again, I don't have every variation down because the pack is huge. What's sad is I could place down a couple of the same skin and no two would still be alike, because there's a bunch of options that we can change too. So I would need this yard full of locomotives to really get everything down. So I just handpicked a handful of them. To my knowledge, the audio on all the locomotives is identical, so we'll only be operating one locomotive. We won't be going through each and every single one. So that's fine. We'll go over that in a minute too. But these are some of the schemes. We're going to have LMS Black, which is somewhere right here. LMS Black, shaded, unshaded in large and small boiler schemes. You will get large and small boiler variations of every paint scheme. Small boiler, large boiler. You'll get BR lined and unlined black. Get some fictional schemes, which is really fun. Like this BR green. I love this. I think this is slick. This locomotive wears green so well. You'll get the photographic gray, the Somerset and Dorset. You'll get, of course, BR black, just plain Jane black, and it's a special number here for them. We'll go over in a second. The Prussian blue. Love this locomotive because there's our antiquated Prussian blue. This is the original 7F that came with the game. 2D textures and all. I mean, it's a night and day difference. Just looking at the smoke box. Night and day difference. Texturing is completely different. Detailing is completely different. Nah, this thing was alright for its time. You know, way back when the game first released, this was top of the line. You know, this was pretty freaking solid, detail-wise, operation-wise. A neat model, but in 2025, it's time to retire. Very much time to retire. I mean, look at that. The coal load is visibly way better. It's not even funny. Not even a comparison. Tender details completely different. Matter of fact, it almost looks like two completely different tenders. Maybe I'm crazy, but I do believe it is. Yeah, it's just much better looking model. Much better. Yeah, I don't even know how else you compare that. You really can't. And then back here, which will be our choice for operating, just because this is my favorite of the lot. Is the fictional Midland Rail green. Oh my, or red. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not colorblind. I swear. I'm just awake at a time that I normally am not awake. I still work a full-time job. I'm still normally awake until the crack of midnight. I'm still usually waking up very late. I don't know why I'm up this early. It's 7 a.m. But yeah, no, this is my personal favorite of the lot. I love this. CMR red is just gorgeous. But yeah, that's all the different schemes that you'll get. Again, there's various things that you can change across the locomotives that would make it almost impossible to lay it down. Every single one of these locomotives have various things that can be changed. Every single one of these locomotives come in all the colors in both large and small diameter boilers. Ton of options. Also included in the pack is various rolling stock. Typical fashion, phenomenal work. You'll get an MR short brake van, Somerset and Dorset large road brake van. Yeah, these don't have interiors, which, oh well. Really nice external models. Three plank and 5 plank hopper cars in both MR and S&D, and road vans, box cars in MR and S&D. Decent little set of freight. Nice and up to date with their now very typical level of detail. We've looked at a couple of products from 4th before, and holy crap, they're phenomenal. They're very well known for their little Nielsen box tanks. They blew out of the water. Phenomenal little model. Very highly detailed, very in-depth models, and they do not fail us here. Excellent detailing. builder's plates are nice and legible, which is really, really nice. All the lettering is nice, crispy, and legible. Again, really, really nice. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Putting down models this new that look this good, it really makes the rest of the route that we're sitting on currently look pitifully outdated. So we are on the Bath to Templecombe route, Somerset and Dorset joint railway that is no longer included with Train Simulator Classic. You gotta buy it separately, which is kind of wild to me. It is now a separate DLC you can purchase on Steam, but this route used to come with the game, and honestly, it should still come with the game, because I can't believe somebody would still pay for this. It is dated. Very dated. But I digress, but that's not what we're here for. A little bit about the history of these locomotives. The 7Fs were designed for heavy coal and goods trains, with 11 built in 2 batches in 1914 and 1925. They were used up until the withdrawal between 1959 and 1964, with 2 being preserved today. While they were designed for freight operations, it was not unusual to see them hauling passenger stock, and you can still see those preserved locomotives pulling passenger stock today, as you get lucky enough to roll out and find one. Anything else that would be particularly noteworthy to pick out? Not really. You can read the history more in depth if you please to. Kind of the gist of the story: they're built to be heavy freight locomotives. They end up doing a little bit of everything. And this is actually one of those preserved locomotives. Number 53A808 in BR Black. As you can see, it is a small boiler. And this is the locomotive that this pack is actually built off of. So 4th's Games actually did get to go out and take a lot of their audio recordings and various steps of their development, whatever else they might have needed. They actually did go out to where this locomotive was kept, and on a day during which it was in operation, they actually got to go through and do everything that they needed to do to build this pack. So this pack is largely built off of number 53A808. It's kind of cool. That's a wild step that I can't think of a single developer that's ever done that. Some of the German guys might have, but I don't read German, so as good as the Forge's models are, that would not surprise me. But to my knowledge, certainly with American products, none of our American products, I think any of the developers have gone through the trouble of physically being on the model that they're trying to build in game. So it's really nice to have seen them go that far. That bear in mind, of course, this thing is very well detailed, and it has a ton of audio recordings and cues and such. Which I took a picture of the manual, because my game is so unstable that if I close out and try to go to the manual, it will not let me back into the game. It will simply crash. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Words, sounds. Yeah. 7F runs flawlessly with 130 randomized exhaust beats and over 500 audio files in total, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see. Locomotive does incorporate a new camera feature with Train Simulator Classic, a walk-around camera. I have mixed feelings about that, I'll admit. I have played around with this locomotive. The other new locomotive we'll be looking at later on, the New Zealand P class, I believe, is the only other model that I can think of off the top of my head that incorporates this feature. And it's not so much that it's bad, it's more just I'm old-fashioned, you know. Things worked one way and never needed anything else kind of person. But it does incorporate a new feature, so for those of you that are like just new, diving in, it's pretty cool. You know, you can lean your head out the window, kind of walk around the footboard and whatnot. It really makes camera angles a lot easier to deal with. You really customize where you stand on the footboard and such. So that's a new thing incorporated here. Let's see, bells, buttons, and whistles that we can change. We can change the air brake style, air brake variation, I guess. Fitted, not fitted. Running board details, you get name. These are the upright plates along the boiler. One on the firebox side, another on the smoke box. Safety valves, you can change the safety valve style. Builder's plates, depending on where the locomotive is built, Midland Railway or Stevens and Company. Seems to be it as far as bells, buttons, whistles. Oh, duh, I forgot. Also included in the pack is an entirely new set of Mark I coaches. These are new, scratch built. These are not the antiquated Mark I's that get repackaged with every single British DLC ever. Another one of those things that's absolutely crazy to me. We get brand new official DLCs on Steam for England, and they still ship it out with the Mark I coaches that have been in the game since that 7F over there was released. Never seen a new model. It's kind of crazy, but 4th's stepped up and we have brand spanking new Mark I's. You'll get a baggage, a combo, I believe first class, second class, and then this thing, I don't know what it is. S15,000. There's a as-built and rebuilt variant. Not gonna lie, not entirely sure what's special about this car. Did not do my research, but as far as these go, there actually are a couple things that you can change. You can change the crest and the bogies, BR1 or Commonwealth bogies. Kind of cool. Change the name, region number. Kind of different for those of you that really want to get in depth. I didn't. I just threw these down. All these are randomly clicked in place. Matter of fact, here's an example of our different bogies. Different, cool. Let's hop in it. Now, for once, not gonna lie, I don't think I could possibly have anything to really complain about or point about, or I don't really complain. I don't think there'd be really anything for me to point to say it looks off-putting? I mean, texturing looks good. Overall model looks freaking phenomenal. I mean, you even have the underframe done up here. That is sick. Underframe's done up. All the detailing's done up. Brake rigging. I mean, it really, really, really is well detailed. Nuts, bolts, and rivets are detailed. You guys know how I absolutely adore that. Our lines are nice and crispy, no fuzziness. Lettering is nice and legible. Midland logo here looks phenomenal. Lettering looks phenomenal. Tender looks awesome. I mean, there's really nothing that I could really point to off the top of my head that I would say, oh goodness, I don't care for that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything. Oh, speaking of which, here's the safety valves. Really stand out here. The two different safety valve styles. Two different tender styles, obviously. You get the cab to tender versus the open. Kind of fun. Shoot. Let's hop in the cab. So if you hold the shift key and then usual walk around, oh goodness, there we go. Let's turn my mouse sensitivity down here. WSD, you can walk around the cab. Now it's not as fluid as like a shooter. You're kind of limited one direction or the other. It won't really like diagonally move or anything. But do that, shift Q, lean out, shift E, lean back in. It's just pretty cool, you know. Again, I'm not dead certain it's my boat to float. It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm just, again, old-fashioned. Open these back doors, because why not? I turn my brightness down on my screen. No wonder I can't see anything. You can open the windows here. Don't think these have a roof vent, which is kind of odd. Kind of curious as to why that's there if it doesn't have a roof vent. Why put that in the design? Enjoying some of those audio cues. Let's see, we got our whistle, which is quillable from inside the cab, as you can see. Sounds excellent. V key will give us a little short toot. Pretty common on British locomotives now, but for those that don't know, shift and then 1, 2, 3 will add your various headlights for whatever headlight code you wish to have. Let's see, Alt Shift, maybe. Control Shift. Well, hey. Shift 9 gives us a headboard. Whoops. A little further than I intended to. Now we got red boards, or red paddles. Controller shift, I made it. There we go. Control. There we go. And then we press H, turns our headlights on. Hit H. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Back to our external view. As you can see, our reverse gear is actually hooked up, linked. Press E to unlock it, and it does move. Not the smoothest, looks like it is. It does have like some preset like spots that it drops to, but it does have a huge range. There's full forward. Full reverse. Hop back in the gap. What a nice audio cue. Does have a reverser lock. Unlock with the E key. Let's see. A lot of your usual culprits that you can play with inside of a steam locomotive's cab. Your injectors, handbrakes, blowers, all that fun stuff. Everything that you need to operate a steam locomotive, which we'll be playing with as we run the locomotive down the line. Let's build up our fire a little bit, because leaving here is usually an outstandingly steep grade, if I remember right. And while we're at it, let's see, F4. Let's see, do we get passenger views? Where am I at? Am I on the bad car? I'm not on the bad car. No idea where I'm at. Darn. You get external views. Look at that. We all know I don't operate with the F4 HUD. These do have interiors though, which is interesting. I don't know why it doesn't want me to. I don't know why I don't have an internal view. It's kind of sad. Oh well. Whoa. I saw the picture. Whoa. It's kind of cool. Crispy. Definitely from Train Sim. Oh, look at the box tank. My personal favorite from 4th's so far. So, all the cars look to have interiors. Very nice. Check our track here before I boogie out. So I know this is a rat's nest of track work. There we go. back to building up our fire blip here. How very satisfying. If you're gonna jump up here, I need you to sit down instead of just staring at me. My wife's grossly overweighted kitty cat. You think she's dying of starvation at 7 a.m.? I don't think so. Anyway, let's see. There. Brakes. Nice glowing fire here. Drain our brakes. I'm gonna throttle up enough to start getting steam to push through the cylinder. Cylinder cocks are open. Takes a hot second for the brakes to burn, which is fine. You need your sight glasses, so you need them to be really wide. You can actually see. Oh, 30. Odd. Drop our reverse gear back. Low-key don't believe that. If I remember right, still registers for 30 going through these crossovers and whatnot. We definitely don't want to hit those doing speedy things. The dynamic smoke is arguably some of the best I have ever seen. Actually, we might get it is the best I have ever seen. As far as Train Simulator Classic goes, oh yeah. Best smoke. Period. That looks gorgeous. No cotton balling. I mean, that really looks good. Straight from the stack. Phenomenal. Love it. Standing climb. Shouldn't be too bad. We don't have a wildly heavy train line. 6 cars. Unfortunately, there are a couple controls inside the cab that the hand doesn't show up to show you what it is. You're not in the middle of it. Here's one of them. My brake injector here is another one. Why it is, I don't know. Unfortunate part of life. Spraying water into the ground. Sure enough it does. Just open the injector. Outstanding. The grades are not smooth, man, at all. Look at that. But it's definitely be going up. Oh, guys, this map is so old. No idea what the idea of the fire temperature is. I am just sending it. Slowly climb up this ridiculous 1.5. I don't know why we're still burning pressure gas. And again, I'm probably not firing this even slightly correctly. I have not operated this locomotive enough to say that I am decent at it. I was trying to find controls list. Thought I took a picture of it. I might not have, but not. Going over some of these controls here that don't show up. See, this is your brake ejector. So when you shut your brakes off, you gotta open this up to drain pressure out of the brakes. That's the tunnel. No idea what this is. I assume this is standard. Doesn't seem right how those pressures going through. However, it doesn't fill up, so I don't know. Steam heat. Steam injector. This will help not to cut that throttle off. Alright, it'd be handy if I could toggle that light there. We had a lamp inside the cab. I don't see anything else that would say it's a standard, but I assume that's a standard. Rain valve. that. Find out if that's Sanders. Very cool. Really pressure. Spot here. Hang out with you. Forgot this part of the map. This is another video out of that. 2 long tunnels straight out the gate. Not a fan of that texture. It's kind of blurry. Cylinder pressure gauge. Not wildly fond of that one. Plowing into 50. These are kind of blurry too. Not my favorite. odd 20 kills. Nice. The best audio out there, without a doubt. Track layer, not touched it out in some places. And get us a nice run by. Suddenly a bright light. That's dumb. Oh, what happened? I got distracted. Oh well. We'll be stopping here to love the audio. The audio is phenomenal. Love the model. Again, the model is phenomenal. Oh, goodness me. Oh. I highly recommend going and checking this model out. It is available from 4th's own website. They do have their own store out. I will put a link in the description as to where you can go to find it. I dare say this is probably one of the most advanced steam locomotive models available for Train Simulator Classic to this day. I think it surpasses everything I've ever looked at anyway. Very advanced model that definitely will take some skill to operate. So if you're not patient with steam locomotives, you're probably not going to enjoy it. But if you enjoy the challenge of steam, you enjoy operating steam locomotives, you enjoy the nuances and such, you will definitely enjoy this pack. God, I couldn't get past the smoke here. This is beyond phenomenal. But yeah, I highly recommend checking it out. So, price wise, I think it was like 20. It came out to like $24 US ish, somewhere in that area. I think it's like $16.99 European monies. Bang for buck. It's a phenomenal pack, and again, you get entirely brand new locomotive, entirely new sounds, entirely new rolling stock, freshly built. So bang for buck's definitely phenomenal. And these fit in just about anywhere. So highly recommend checking them out. And yeah, that's it. Nothing new to say, nothing bad to say. Maybe the gauges inside the cab. Not a fan of those, but otherwise, the locomotives as a whole is just absolutely phenomenal. Splendidly well detailed, awesome audio, awesome sounds, awesome smoke. Just phenomenal. So definitely go check it out, and I will see you guys next time.